Welcome to Renz. Your renting journey starts here. We will analyze the financial plan in this video. Let's begin the financial plan explanation.
All right, let's open up the books on Renzies. Today, we're doing a complete CFO-level walkthrough of our 5-year financial model. We're going to go through it assumption by assumption, no fluff, no vanity metrics. We're going to see exactly how this business is built to scale by focusing purely on the numbers, the math, and the strategy. Let's dive in. So, let's start with the bottom line, a negative 8.5 locks in year 5. Now, I know what you're thinking. Most people see a negative number and they see a loss. But you know what I see? I see the result of a deliberate 5-year strategic plan. This isn't a failure. This is the inflection point, right before we hit break even. And we get here on 54.5 locks of revenue with a tiny, incredibly conservative slice of the market. This number tells a story of disciplined growth, and we're about to unpack every single chapter.
So, how do we get there? Here's the game plan for this deep dive. We've seen the headline number. First, we're going to break down how we capture the market. Then, we'll look at the revenue engine itself. You know, how we actually make money. After that, we'll dig into the costs and map out our path to profitability. And finally, we'll talk about the funding that makes this whole journey possible.
Okay, let's start with the absolute foundation of any solid financial model, the market. We didn't do a top-down, let's grab 1% of India thing. Honestly, that's just a recipe for failure. We started from the bottom up. We're focusing on a specific, defensible, and really well-understood user base. This is all about being realistic, not just aspirational. Our whole world starts right here. In just 3 key areas of Bangalore, we're talking Whitefield, Koramangala, and Indiranagar, there are 700,000 people shopping online every single month. This isn't some wild national guess, it's a verifiable, hyper-local number. And we're only assuming this base grows at a super modest 0.84% a year. This is the big, specific pond we're deciding to fish in. Now this is where we get really focused. Out of that huge pool, our actual serviceable market is the 80,000 people who are specifically looking to rent furniture online. This is our beachhead. We are not trying to be everything to everyone. We are going after a user with a crystal clear intent, someone who already gets the idea of renting and is actively looking for a solution. And this slide right here perfectly illustrates our conservative strategy. Out of those 80,000 potential users, we're only aiming to capture 2% of their orders in our first year. That is it. Over 5 years, we just methodically ramp that up to a mere 5%. And that 2% share, that works out to about 167 orders a month. That is a completely achievable target, even for a new marketplace going up against giants like OLX. We win by being hyper-focused. Okay, so we've defined our sandbox. Now, let's talk about how we monetize it. This is our revenue engine. The real mechanics of how we turn a tiny market share into a 54.5 lakh rupee business in 5 years. What's really cool here is just how simple this is. Our 5.4x revenue growth, it's all driven by just 2 core levers. First, a really modest bump in monthly orders, from 167 to 227. That's a growth rate of only about 8% a year. The real power, the real kicker, comes from the second lever, quadrupling our average order value from 500 rupees all the way to 2,000. It's this 1-2 punch that creates some really powerful but totally believable growth. So, you're probably wondering, how in the world do you justify a 4x increase in AOV? Well, it isn't magic, it's a deliberate, phased strategy. We start with smaller, lower value stuff like basic furniture to build trust and get transactions flowing. Then as the platform matures and our brand builds credibility, we systematically roll out higher value rental categories, things like electronics, event equipment, maybe even premium travel gear. Each new category just naturally pulls that average transaction value up. It's a planned rollout, not just a hopeful guess.
But look, revenue is only half the story, right? The real path to profitability is paved by managing your costs. And that brings us to the really exciting part, operating leverage. This is that powerful concept where your revenue grows way, way faster than your costs. And it's the hallmark of any truly scalable tech business.
This chart just says it all. It perfectly visualizes operating leverage. Just look at year 1. We're spending 14 lakhs on marketing to make 10 lakhs in revenue. That's our upfront investment to get customers in the door. Now jump to year 5. Our revenue has exploded by over 5 times to 54.5 lakhs. But look at our marketing spend. It's only gone up to 20 lakhs. You see that? The revenue growth is just crushing the cost growth. That is the definition of a scalable model. And this quote right here,
This is the metric that matters. That drop from 142% down to just 37%, that is the whole story. It proves our customer acquisition becomes radically more efficient over time. And we get there by building a brand, getting word of mouth, and shifting from being totally reliant on paid digital ads to getting about 20% of our leads from organic traffic by year 5.
Okay, let's walk down the full P&L. In year 1, our 10 lakhs in revenue gets eaten up by costs, leading to a 27 lakh loss. Makes sense. But in year 5, that 54.5 lakhs of revenue easily covers the 20 lakh marketing bill. Sure, our team costs double as we scale from 11 to 21 people, but the revenue growth is so much bigger. And notice the overheads? They're basically fixed. That scaling effect is what shrinks our EBITDA loss by nearly 70%, from that negative 27 lakhs all the way down to the negative 8.5 lakhs we started with.
So, we have the market, we have the revenue engine, and we have a clear path to profitability. This brings us to the final, crucial piece of the puzzle, the funding story. We need to talk about the capital required to make this whole plan a reality.
This timeline shows you our cash burn profile. As you'd expect, the early years are the heaviest investment, starting with a 28 lakh net outflow in year 1. That's us building the platform, getting our first customers, and really establishing the brand. But as you can see, the burn rate consistently goes down over time, dropping by more than half to 11.6 lakhs by year 5, as revenue kicks in and our operations get smarter. It's a totally predictable and manageable profile.
So, what's the ask? To execute this entire 5-year plan and to get to that break-even inflection point, we need a seed funding round of 1.5 to 2 crore rupees. That's the fuel for the entire engine that we've just detailed. And what does that capital actually buy us? Well, critically, it buys us time. It gives us an 18 to 24-month runway. That's the oxygen a startup needs to execute without distraction. It lets us fund those early cash outflows, build the right team, hit our marketing goals, and drive the business straight towards that year 5 milestone, where we are right on the cusp of profitability. This is the bridge from our plan to reality.
So what's the ultimate takeaway here? The Renz model isn't built on wishful thinking. It is built on a solid foundation of conservative, bottom-up assumptions. It's powered by proven marketplace math, that beautiful relationship between customer acquisition, order value, and operating leverage. And most importantly, it lays out a clear, step-by-step path to profitability. Renz isn't just an idea. It is a meticulously planned business, and it is absolutely built to scale.
Your financial plan Renz is now complete. Thank you for choosing Renz, the peer-to-peer rental marketplace. Renz, rent smart.